Hello! So today we're going to talk about this beautiful item that was called a chatelaine, or probably pronounced a Chatelaine. It was a device for ladies to hang their tools or their accoutrements, and the precursor probably to something like the Swiss Army knife. Chatelaine is the French word for lady of the castle, and it comes from the medieval period, reflecting the idea that the wearer is important and responsible for managing the household and its keys. An important lady of the house, worn hanging on a cord, belt or girdle, and known as the equipage. Now, some dress styles through the eras, even coming from medieval times, had slits inside the outer dress that went through to pockets on the inside of the dress. In the Georgian period, these lovely big inner pockets were highly decorated. But a large deep pocket, of course, is impractical. Everything just falls to the bottom and mixes together. It's a nuisance to try and find what you need quickly, swiftly and professionally. And the chatelaine became incredibly popular in the 18th century and remained so right up until the Edwardian period. And look at this beautiful silver one that's designed to help you access your tools that you needed quickly, professionally and on hand. Or worn by all classes of people. Now, who would actually wear them? Let's have a look. Of course, the lady, the housekeeper, the head housekeeper of the house. Nurses, of course, found them incredibly useful. Seamstresses. And of course, nuns. Some were made of bone, beautiful, or ivory, and others of precious metals like silver and gold. So let's have a look what would actually hang on a chatelaine. Well, of course, keys. There would always have been a scissors holder and of course a useful tape measure. Smelling salts, and these lovely little buckets that used to hold a little thimble, pens, pencils and notepaper, spectacle cases and small emery boards that were used for sharpening needles or scissors, purses. If you're a housekeeper, a corkscrew may be useful, and a small knife. Thermometers, a watch, pin cushions, small dainty needle holders called étui, button hooks and perfume bottles. Here you can see a seal that was for stamping your seal on envelopes and letters. And there was usually like a nice little acorn design that was used to hold something called a vinaigrette, which was a small sponge that was soaked in sweet-smelling vinegars and rose water to help spread a nice, fresh, sweet-smelling smell around. But the actual word chatelaine wasn't actually coined until 1828, when a fashion magazine called The World of Fashion reported a new accessory called the chatelaine. And because it reflected the medieval lady chatelaine, a symbolic key would most probably always be added. Now, like a lot of things in fashion, it started off as practicality, but eventually towards the Edwardian period ended up a fashion item to dress up a plain skirt. And there was symbolism added to it, like this anchor and the cross and the heart for faith, hope and charity. The anchor, for some reason, was an ideal for hope. But by the 19th century, Punch magazine was featuring cartoons mocking the domestic lady's chatelaine. So why did they go out of fashion? Well, the wristwatch and the pocket watch replaced the hanging watch. Envelopes now stuck down instead of having to use a messy seal. Larger handbags and nice little reticules became more fashionable for holding your items instead of round your waist. And with the emancipation of women later in the Edwardian period, freer movement to be able to shop, work and play sports all made the Chatelaine die out. It would be a bit jingly jangly if you were riding a bike wearing a full Chatelaine. And the 21st century Chatelaine? Well, of course, in Britain, the bum bag. In America, the fanny pack. So, what's your favourite Chatelaine? If you've enjoyed another little historical fashion story, do join me again for the next one. Until then, take care and bye.